Coming up, we go to North Syracuse Junior High School to find out how one teacher is taking a different approach to teaching.
Now, from the EMC studio at Onondaga Community College, this is ONTV Update.
Good afternoon and welcome to ONTV Update. It is Friday, February 28th. I'm Zach Watson.
And I'm Jess Clary. Our first story today takes us to North Syracuse Junior High School to talk to a teacher whose unconventional teaching methods are fun for the whole classroom.
Density, it always...
Greg Flick has been an earth science teacher for many years, but the way he engages students is different than a normal teacher would. And he tells us how this idea of music in class came to mind.
There's something about the way that memory works in a human being that when you have rhythm and music, you can remember the words. So I want my songs to be real earworms, science earworms, so that students can take that with them into a testing situation and actually use that.
Flick lines up each song he has written throughout the year to match up with what they're learning about, but the class does have some fan favorites.
The songs that I do sing, I wrote for specific spots in the curriculum, and so they are performed then, and then I also put them on my web page so kids can download them. Today we are doing a calorimeter lab where we have hot water and cold water in it. So Katy Perry's Hot and Cold was a song that was playing a lot today. But I think the one that has the most impact is Formed This Way. And that has so much content in it about the rock cycle.
So this is where Mr. Flick usually performs his songs for the class with this guitar right here, and the class always tunes in to listen. Megan Duffy, a former student of Flick's, has had many positive experiences throughout her time that she was in this class.
This was definitely one of my favorite classes. I still struggled because science is not my greatest subject, but had I not had Mr. Flick, I probably would not have passed.
Most importantly, Flick has a love for his music.
Music, it's fun. But you know, I think I initially did it because it amused me. I wasn't doing it with an educational purpose in mind. It's something that made me happy and was fun, and if I'm having fun, I think some of the kids can join in with that.
Greg has written over 25 songs for all the years he has been teaching, and he says he doesn't plan on stopping with these teaching methods.
Did you know that OC has its very own podcast? The OC podcast was started in 2016 by Director of Communications Roger Mirabito as a way to reach the OC community in a more modern way. He talks about current events and activities going on around campus and has guests related to them. The podcast is a quick listen, only about 10 minutes long. Roger wants students to listen to the podcast, be more aware of things going on around campus, and get more involved in them. The podcast is posted every week in the News tab on the OC website. This past week, I spoke with two OCC students and talked to them about life away from their first home and how the new environment is treating them.
Ahmed and Sabrina Abukar, full-time students that attend OCC and work part-time at Sky Zone. A couple of years ago, their family came to Syracuse searching for new opportunities and enrolled into OCC and began working towards their futures as soon as they arrived.
When I first came here, it was completely different. People around me didn't see me the same as people did back home.
Ahmed and Sabrina used to live in Somali, located in Eastern Africa, where work didn't come so easy.
Sky Zone hired me through open interviews, and it helped me gain an opportunity to branch out and communicate with coworkers and broaden my knowledge on the American culture.
This is the Student Advising Center, where Ahmed and Sabrina began enrollment into their classes and started their journey to an associate's degree.
Don O'Brien, an enrollment advisor, has helped over 30 students from different countries and talks about how stressful the process is.
I think the language barrier and knowing what the pace the professors teach here.
When we sat down with them, they immediately asked us what we were interested in and how can they make it come true. It's a blessing to know that people care about you without even knowing you yet.
From the Gordon Student Center, Zach Watson, ONTV Update.
Ahmed and Sabrina are planning on continuing their education at SUNY Oswego after they complete their associates at OCC. Up next, we will see what Mother Nature has in store for us as we take a look at this week's upcoming forecast.
Stay tuned as we take a look as to why this bright orange fence is prohibiting your sledding on the Westcott Reservoir, one of the most iconic sledding spots in central New York.
It's a great way to get started specifically for architecture and interior design. Even if you're thinking of transferring to one of the top programs in the country, getting familiar with how to design, the vocabulary, the terminology, and then you can take that knowledge onto an upper level program. And if you're looking to get a job after 2 years, I think the program prepares you as well as any program can for what you're going to experience in the real world.
Being community college, we want to represent the community that we're in, and most of our rosters are filled with students from the local community. And I think there's a lot of great institutional pride in the success our teams have seen. I'm always very careful to call our students student athletes because I really believe that that's the purpose, that they're here first and foremost to be students. And so just in our building, in the SRC Arena in Allen Hall, we do have some facilities specifically to support their academic needs.
What brought me to OCC is an opportunity to pursue a higher education and inspire other people. One of the things that I like that OCC provides not only me but the students at OCC to be successful, I would say the Learning Center. The Learning Center is a center where you could get tutoring from, and they have great tutors there. I recommend someone to come to OCC is because of all the different resources that they have.
The EMC program allowed me to learn everything that I use every day in my current career. Interviewing people for the first time, I learned here the way you act and carry yourself out in the field is very important because you're representing a company, you're representing a station. Just getting that experience here was huge because when I first started there, I saw these assignments I was getting and I realized I've done this before. It was just like a continuation from right here.
Our primary focus is teaching and students, and what we do is driven by students. Structurally, I like the environment. I like how we've set up systems for helping students. There are places that I can send you guys if you need more help, and that means a lot to me. And I like the sort of variety of what people are doing. I'm not sort of siloed into just thinking about English 24/7. I can stretch and think about different things, and I really like that.
My favorite class to teach is probably the writing scripts. I enjoy working with students on creative writing, and though I enjoy all the classes that I teach, to be honest, there's an energy that creative endeavors like writing scripts allows you to have. That energy just kind of bubbles through the whole term, and so it makes it a lot of fun.
Hello everyone and welcome back to ONTV Update. I'm Jess Clary.
And I'm Zach Watson. We've had some unpredictable weather so far this week, so let's head over to Zach Suhumsky to see if this hot and cold trend will continue.
According to AccuWeather.com, today is expected to be cold and windy. We had a low of 18 degrees this morning. You can come to expect 1 to 3 inches of snow with a high of 29 degrees later on in the day. Looking ahead for this upcoming week, we can see an increasing pattern of highs and even getting into the 50s on Wednesday. You may even be able to ditch that jacket. But expect a snowy weekend with 2 inches predicted on Saturday and carrying on into Sunday. We'll have some lingering snow showers mixed with a bit of rain on Monday and Tuesday, with the lows in the mid-30s, but again on Wednesday, you can expect a pretty nice day with some sun and clouds mixed in and only a 25% chance of rain throughout the day. With snow still in the forecast, you may consider sledding this midwinter season, and the Westcott Reservoir, unfortunately, won't be a place you can go.
If you live in the town of Geddes, then you may have seen the Westcott Reservoir on your daily commute to work, a drive to the grocery store, or just taking a stroll. It was recently renovated to be 2 twin 32 million gallon covered tanks to improve stormwater management and improve water quality. As you pass, though, in recent years, you may have noticed a bright orange safety fence prohibiting sledding. This fence has been put up every year since 2009. That's over a decade of no sledding. The reason that this fence has been put up time and time again is because a 12-year-old girl was unable to stop herself while coming down the steep hill and hit a parked car at the bottom, and unfortunately passed away 3 days later. Although there's not enough snow to be sledding today, you can do other fun activities, such as build a snowman.
My husband and I have been taking our kids here for the last 15 years. This place is an icon. We used to come here every weekend with parents, watch our kids sled. While it's sad that there's been some accidents here, it doesn't take away from the fact that the Res was the place to come.
Despite efforts to stop sledding on the reservoir, people tend to bend the rules. People are beginning to sled below the orange fence or just straight on through it. Despite the sledding ban put over a decade ago, the reservoir will remain a staple of Central New York for years to come.
Although there may be no more sledding on the reservoir, you can certainly still sled at places such as Long Branch Park and Van Buren Park this winter season.
Coming up, an update on the standings of the OCC men's and women's basketball teams during their first playoff game.
But first, we'll take a look at one of the most successful coaches in the New York State high school basketball and see how he does it. You're watching ONTV Update. Stay with us.
Do you need help with jobs and interviews? Check out the Career Center in Coulter Hall across from the cafe in room 110. They have laptops to help with your job search that are always surrounded by helpful tips and info. On the front desk, they always have current job openings, positions, and internships available. They have a website called Purple Briefcase where you can get access to all of this 24/7. So come and get your future at the Career Center. Miss Coulter will be here to greet you.
My favorite thing about OCC is definitely the bonds that it allows you to build. I've made so many friends from the soccer team that are all excellent students as well, and I've made great friends in the nursing program. It really helps you continue on the journey because you have support wherever you go. I go to practice and I have copious amounts of support there. I wouldn't trade the memories that I've made here for anything.
When I think about OCC, I think about inclusion and just all the chances to learn about other people. One of my favorite places that I still actually hang out is definitely the Fishbowl in Mooney. The food's not bad either. What would make OCC a good choice? It was actually pretty, I believe the term is inexpensive.
Finals are coming up fast, and Coulter Library is ready. We have lots of new computers, several new study rooms, and extended hours for finals review sessions. If you're stressed about that final exam or frantically working to finish that term paper, look no further. Take advantage of our subject resources and prepare for the end of a successful semester here at Coulter Library.
I kind of fell in love with the dream and the idea of someday being on the radio.
It's your girl Breezy!
I found out about EMC, which was an absolute game changer. EMC prepared me for my career in radio and set me up to where I am now because I learned so many things that I still use today. I put myself in the best possible position for myself and my career going to OCC, the EMC department.
We sponsor 17 varsity sports at OCC, so it's 6 in the fall, 2 in the winter, and then 9 in the spring. We've had a lot of athletic success, both from a team perspective as well as the individual. We've won numerous team national championships, primarily in men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, but also basketball and men's tennis. We can have students come here and gain more exposure than they normally would receive in high school. Hopefully there's an opportunity then to transfer on to a four-year school to continue their education and playing career.
This week, high school basketball sectional play is in full swing in Central New York. As all the teams ready themselves for possible title runs, there's one school that in the 90s and 2000s were a basketball dynasty in New York State. They have the same coach who doesn't focus so much on wins and losses, but to shape young men into winners on and off the court. Throughout the mid-90s to the early 2000s, the Hamilton Emerald Knights boys basketball program had been one of the top basketball powerhouses in New York State high school basketball, winning 2 state titles, 5 trips to the state Final Four, and several regional, sectional, and league championships. Those teams were all led by head coach Tom Blackford, who currently has 553 wins over the course of 24 years at Hamilton and 14 at Fayetteville Manlius. But Blackford says that it's not all about wins for him. It's for the love of the game.
So those numbers are numbers. Are they in sight? Yes. Is that my reason for coaching? Absolutely no. I mean, I coach because I still love coaching.
Tom Blackford's main focus every season is building relationships with his players, no matter if they sit the bench or they lead the league in scoring.
It's amazing the relationships he has with the kids. He's always had them.
For almost 40 seasons, Tom Blackford has been teaching his team to live by 5 simple words: effort, energy, enthusiasm, every day, every play. And maybe that's why this team is so successful. The Emerald Knights are currently 15-6, and they have a very young roster. And Tom says that they have a lot of talent coming up. But a promise he made 4 years ago to those younger players is the reason why he keeps coaching and doing what he loves.
I'd love to finish with these sophomores who, they were 7th graders when I came back. I promised them I'd watch them graduate.
Blackford says he'll know when the time is right to leave the game behind. But for now, he said he wants to finish out what he started at Hamilton almost 40 years ago and keep making his guys better on and off the court. The Hamilton boys lost their first-round matchup to their rival Brookfield, 58-54. But on a higher note, with their last win, Tom Blackford moved into the 3rd spot on the all-time wins list in Section 3 basketball with 554. In other news, the OCC Lasers men's and women's basketball teams have rolled into NGCAA regional playoffs, both earning 2 seeds in their tournaments, and both teams will be moving on to the next round with wins on Tuesday night. The women's game went first, and the ladies won easily by a score of 93-64 over Corning Community College. Sophomore guard Amber Meggs was a leading scorer with 24 points on the night. The men then came afterwards with a matchup with the 7-seed Finger Lakes Community College. The men fought hard throughout the whole game and ended up winning 85-73. Freshman point guard Ja'Kai Lucas dropped 25 points, along with grabbing 13 rebounds. Both the Lasers men and women will be the 3-seed, playing Herkimer County Community College tomorrow night in the semifinal round. The Lasers women are now on a 16-game winning streak, and the men are locking up a 15-game winning streak. So it's starting to look like OCC's kind of building their own kind of basketball powerhouse.
There's no doubt about it, Colin. They're both on a roll, and it's going to be very hard to stop them.
Yeah, other teams definitely have their hands full when they go against the Lasers in the next few weeks. Art has been featured all around campus this past month, like the many extraordinary works from the high school scholastic art competition that are lining the walls of the Whitney building.
And in the Ann Felton Multicultural Center, the art gallery is featuring a new exhibit highlighting 2 very talented artists coming up on ONTV Update.
Explore the possibilities and reach your full potential with Phi Theta Kappa, the official honor society for 2-year colleges. To be invited, you need at least 12 completed OCC credit hours and a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. Once you're in, you'll have access to scholarship, service, fellowship, and leadership opportunities. Come to the PTK and Honors Program Suite in Coulter Hall to learn more. A whole world of opportunities is waiting for you. What are you waiting for?
The OCC campus is a great starting place to further your academics for a cheap price. OCC is always looking for ways to make the place look better, and they're always adding new stuff onto campus. The OCC campus has great parking accommodations if you have a car. The OCC campus is a lot larger than I imagined. It has a lot of buildings off campus as well as on campus. I very much enjoy my time here because I've met a bunch of people that I wouldn't think I'll ever meet.
Everybody like on the edge of their seats yelling. People want to see you do good. People actually coming out to watch me play. So definitely give me an incentive to play hard, get some buckets. I guess it's one of the top JUCOs in the country. This is a good program to get your name out there. I like to go by like the sky is the limit. Like you could do anything you put your mind to. Like I didn't really know I was gonna break a record. I just kind of figured like if I was to put all in the work in, you could do anything that you put your mind to. If you're gonna work hard or something, just give it your all.
Because we're a two-year school, you're going to play right away. As a freshman, you're going to get pretty good parts, and as a sophomore, you're going to have all the best stuff. We have a lot of non-majors involved, and they can play in ensembles, they can take lessons, they can take music classes. They really could do all the music major things. There are no barriers to that. We have great equipment, we have great facilities. It's a lot of fun to be here. There's a lot of energy, and we do a lot of performing, which makes everybody kind of energetic and working towards those goals together, and it makes it a lot of fun.
My classes aren't too bad. As a business major, they're kind of difficult, so I can always come here and get some help, or if I have any questions about my student profile or anything about that, there's always help here. They took me through like the list of options of courses that I could choose, and I picked the best ones that I think were suited for me. Honestly, without OCC and the help of the Student Center, I just wouldn't really be where I am today.
I went to college with the idea that I was going to take Ryan Seacrest's job. Through my time at OCC, I was able to learn, you know what, my skill set more realistically lends to marketing and customer relations. And that really gave me a direction of where it is that I should go professionally. The benefit of having a smaller class size is that I get one-on-one attention from my professor. And that's one of the things that I loved about having those smaller classes. I'm very glad that I learned my professionalism in the area where I am practicing professionally.
Welcome back to ONTV Update. I'm Jess Clary.
And I'm Zach Watson. Did you make a New Year's resolution? ONTV Updates, Andrew Murph finds out what effect the new decade can have on people.
At 47, I'm stuck. I'm more stuck in my ways, so it will take me a while to change. But no, I'm working a similar career, similar family issues. Nothing really big changed, I guess. One thing, when we change into a new decade, usually for a little while, it still feels like the previous decade. A lot of time we wait for something.
That was Professor Mark Zane, and to wonder what he's talking about can be found in little things like new goals.
It's another year to succeed, to bring forth something new to the table, hopefully, and to just keep going with the goals that I've set, like the long-term goals.
With Sage's thoughts on the mind, how do we press on a new decade?
Tony Robbins once said, "A lack of emotion causes a lack of progress, and a lack of progress causes a lack of motivation." Now, when I think about 2020 and what changes I have, I think about those words very hard. But where I find my motivation is in my friends.
Well, the friends that I thought that I had at the time, and I stopped talking to them at that point and moved on to this new friend group. As I got convinced into going by one of my friends, it was a good indicator to what was going to come next in this year. I genuinely felt like it was perfect, and at that one moment that turns everything around.
Going forward, we know that all it takes is one moment to turn your whole life around. Today, February 28th, is the final day the artwork will be hanging in the Whitney Building. The art is part of an exhibit from the Central New York Scholastic Art Awards. They showcase the best works from artistic high schoolers in the area. Students won either an honorable mention, a silver key, or a first place gold key. The best of the gold keys were awarded individual prizes and then went to a national art competition. After they leave OC, select artworks will be featured at the Everson Art Museum.
At OCC, the art gallery shows amazing art of all kinds. Their newest exhibit highlights 2 retired teachers and their 2 different crafts. On TV Updates, Jalen Hanford tells us more about the artists.
So I started making sculptures out of clay. And from that point on, it led to a career in making sculpture.
There's a new art display at OCC's art gallery, but this time there are 2 artists. One is Paul Morin, but he wasn't always a sculptor.
So I began really as a traditional potter and became quite productive and efficient at it. And then I realized it was something that I really didn't want to do all my life. I wanted to expand ideas in the work.
And then there's the other half, Scott Brody, who has had his eyes set on art for quite a while.
So I started drawing from a very, very early age, and then that became my whole world of fantasy. I would just draw.
While they work in different forms of art, both artists use a variety of mediums and materials.
The rest are all made in oil paint on canvas.
Primarily I use wood, aluminum, plastic glass, found objects, primarily organic ones, pieces of wood that are parts of trees, limbs. They've been manipulated in different ways.
Even though both artists create different things, such as these paintings and these sculptures, they both could agree that what they created wasn't just nothing, it was something.
Tongue-in-cheek, that something came out of nothing, and something seemed appropriate. And it's memorable.
At the Ann Felton Multicultural Center, this is Jalen with ONTV Updates.
The new exhibit titled Something is in the Ann Felden building at the Art Gallery. You can visit Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can see this art display up until April 9th. Zach Suhumsky is back with us to talk about the weather. Forecast is going to be like this weekend. Zach, how's it looking out there?
Well, Jess, this Saturday is going to be a bit chilly with a high of 23 degrees and some snow mixed throughout the day. But Sunday will be just a bit warmer with a high of 31. You'll be seeing clouds throughout the day and may even get up to an inch of snow.
Now that's all we have for you today. Thank you for watching. I'm Zach Watson.
And I'm Jess Clary. Tune in next Friday at 10 a.m. to watch another episode of ONTV Update. We hope you have a great rest of the week.